Okay, this is how they line up. 7 go to post over the 1600 metres. Golden 60 looking for his 15th straight win. Waikuku won this race 2 years ago, second up, unlucky behind Panfield last time out. Southern Legend and More Than This both got close to Golden 60 last year. Sky Darcy a little bit unlucky behind Panfield in the Sha Tin Trophy Champions Way. And Pressure Ship was a huge run, finishing second. Harry Bentley, that's behind Panfield, jumping on board. He's 1 from 1 on the horse. So we start off with the speed map, of course, and the pace is saying good to slow here, Tom, in the early stages, with Golden 60 going towards the back.
Yeah, I think he will, and that's probably the advantage of gate number 7. He can sit back, Vincent Ho, and watch everything unfold. Normally in this sort of race, Paul, we'd have Ka-Ying Star as the leader, but he's not here this year.
No, he's not. So, look, Waikuku, Southern Legend looks the natural leader in the race. Sky Darcy, look, he hasn't had much luck last time. Maybe he might go forward into that gap and try and go a little bit more forward this time, down on the rail there, Champions Way, then back to Pressure Ship and Golden 60.
And if it is a little bit on the slow side, we have seen Golden 60 King get a little bit keen at the rear.
Yeah, so we'll see what the pace will play as far as tactics are concerned. But let's start off with Golden 60 and his trainer, Francis Loy.
Quick comment as well on Golden 60. How's his preparation been?
He also okay. Everything's fine.
He galloped on Tuesday morning on the turf. What was the feedback from Vincent?
We're happy with the gallop, and even this morning also he's quite relaxed at the moment, you know.
Do you feel this stage of the season compared to previous seasons he's more forward? Do you have him more forward?
I can't say he's more forward, but he's more mature and sensible.
And Vincent Ho said similar sort of things as well about his maturity. So let's have a look at him. We'll go back to last year first, Paul. This is the Champions Mile. Of course, an unbeaten season, 7 from 7 last season, and the season before that, in actual fact. But More Than This got very close in second place, and Southern Legend in third. Yeah,
so they meet him again, and obviously it's a similar field size, isn't it? I can see him doing something similar, though, looping the field. Look, he did win the race here nicely, but More Than This did give him a bit of a fright. He hasn't been with Danny Shum too long as well, More Than This, well, for many runs, I should say. So, look, it was a good run from More Than This, but Golden 60 coming in fresh, he's going to be very hard to beat.
Yeah, and More Than This, this was his last run with Francis Loy. Then he moved across to Danny Shum, and I don't think he was going quite as well then when he was beaten at a 2.9 favourite. I left him out in the end, but look, Golden 60, you can't leave him out. He's shooting for 15 straight.
Yeah, an 18 in total. So this is one of his recent trials, Tom. But we've talked about it a little bit before. You know, they've asked plenty of him at the trials.
Yeah, they have. Up until this season, he'd never been able to win a trial, and he just hadn't had that desire to do so. But they've really had him cranking up in these trials, be it on the turf or on the all-weather like this. And Vincent Ho's really asked him a question inside sort of the last 350 or so and put a space in them. So he looks right on song here, Paul.
Yeah, he's still got that really good turn of foot, hasn't he? No problems with him, and he trialled nicely. They've given him plenty of work, so he will go in quite fit.
OK, this is the Sha Tin Trophy, which is a real bunch finish. Pressure Ship from the back, huge run from him to finish in second place. Also looking out for Sky Darcy, maybe a little bit unlucky. He was 8th. Waikuku, no luck for him as well in 9th. Southern Legend weekends out, runs 11th, and Champions Way in last place, but probably only beaten, 2.5 lengths or something, Paul?
Yeah, really close race. Yeah, look, Sky Darcy had no luck whatsoever, did he? Got held up. As you can say, similar to Waikuku. So I think from this race, they're the two main ones are going to take out of it. I think a lot of these will forget this race. I mean, Pressure Ship finished the closest of all of them, but he had clear air right down the outside.
He certainly did, and he's drawn barrier number 6 here. Look, Sky Darcy was an absolute horror show watching there for favourite or backers of him on that occasion. Waikuku, I think he's still improving. He hasn't quite been able to win in his last couple of runs, but look, last time out he was only beaten 2 lengths, and I think he's still a horse that is making inroads and improvement. Yeah,
and at his best, he's a genuine Group 1 horse, Waikuku. So let's hear from his trainer, John Sice.
John, Waikuku lining up over 1,600 metres. What did you make of his last start effort where he just ran out of room a little bit late?
Yeah, there was an interesting race where there's a lot of horses that sort of finished in a bunch, and probably it wasn't a race where you get a good guide for the future from. But as far as the health of the horse and the way he's trained since then, his trials and everything like that, he's been good. He doesn't seem to have anything that would be inhibiting his performance, and I think he'd run another good race.
He's trialled twice since that last state effort, so the trials, you've been happy with those?
Yeah, he trials in his own way. He does what he wants to do, but race day he seems to switch on and do his best. You know.
You're meeting, of course, the reigning Horse of the Year, Golden 60. How do you expect him to perform this weekend against him?
Well, I don't know anything about Golden 60. He's not my horse,
No.
but Waikuku's. You know, I think he'd run one of his better races. He's probably going to improve again with this start because he's had a long break. He stopped work in April, but I'd expect him to make the next step, and then all being well, he'd probably run improved race on International Day.
Fascinating then to see how it all pans out. No surprises, Paul, to see Golden 60 short price favourite. The market's a little bit skewed.
Yeah, look, he picks himself, Golden 60, so he's clearly on top. I think Sky Darcy is the one to beat. Waikuku, not much between those two, and then more than this in a small field. 1-5-2-4.
Here, Golden 60, as Paul said, selects himself. He's in there with Sky Darcy, Waikuku, and didn't mind the run of Champions Way last start, so 1, 5, 2 and 6.
Golden 60 for me as well, of course, but Waikuku, I think you might just keep him honest first up there.